a genre that's becoming more and more popular in the anime and manga community. Isekai literally means other world, and it usually focuses on characters being transported or reborn in another world. Some of the most popular isekai anime and manga include The Rising of the Shield Hero, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and Re:Zero. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you 21 completely free to use ideas for your isekai manga, comic, or novel. I hope you enjoy this video and it helps you with your manga creations. Hi everyone, if you don't already know me, my name is Annette Cross and on this channel I dedicate all of my videos to helping you turn your manga into a masterpiece. I'm currently working on my own manga titled Having Faith, which you might hear me talk about in today's video, but also in other videos on my channel. Now if you're new to my channel and you'd love to see more videos just like this one today, please consider subscribing and hitting that little bell icon to get notified every time I upload something new. I upload a new video every Sunday and Thursday all about manga creating, and I would love to have you join me on the channel. Now, as always, the ideas in this video are completely free to use, so you're welcome to use them as prompts or to base your whole story around, if you would like. You're also welcome to combine these ideas or change them in any way you would like. This is just to help give you some basic inspiration for the story you are creating. Let me know in the comment section down below what free ideas videos you would like to see in the future because I would love to hear about it. So without further ado, let's get straight into the 21 free to use isekai story ideas. Let's start with idea number 1. So idea number 1 tells the story of a character from a fantasy isekai world who has magical powers, and they managed to create a portal to escape to the mortal world when they were being chased by Oni. Now safe in the human world, they try to blend in and act like a regular human. However, as they are no longer in their own world, they begin to feel sick. It's common for travelers between the two worlds to get ill, and that is what generally stops them from trying it in the first place. The witch collapses and is startled to wake up in the human's apartment. The human found them collapsed on the street and took care of them. The witch knows that they are not meant to meddle in human affairs, and if they are found out, they will get into deep trouble. Now that the witch has gained some strength, they leave and try to create another portal. The human follows them, and as the witch creates the portal, the human grabs on and is also pulled through. The human is now trapped in the isekai world along with the very frustrated witch. The witch wants to send the human back immediately, but the power in the teleportation crystal has run out. Until the witch can get it recharged, the human must stay in the isekai world and try and blend in. But for humans, the isekai world is very dangerous. Filled with monsters and magical creatures, the human is also forced to learn the ways of magic or risk getting hunted down. My second story idea is that in this story, a reverse world exists opposite to our real world where everything is opposite. So good people are now nasty people in this other world. Brave people are cowardly, tall people are now short. In every possible way, things are reversed in this other world. In the real world, the main character is a good person, even though they might not want to admit it. They help people where they can, and they try to be an unlikely hero. Even when others exclude him or bully him, he still tries to find kindness for them. One day, the main character is trying to outrun bullies, and they find themselves cornered in a blocked alley. They stumble back into the wall, and for a moment, it feels like they are falling off the side. They fall into the alley again, only to find that those people who were previously trying to attack him are now trying to help him. Confused, the main character leaves the alley, startled to find a mysterious world under a red sky, and all kinds of strange people. What's even more startling is when he discovers a poster of himself on the wall of a building, a poster of protest. He later learns that this is a reverse world, and there are small ways to get there, hidden among regular life. One of the ways to get there was through pushing in one of the bricks on that wall. Hoping to get back, he tries to push the wall again, but to no avail. As he stays on the street for too long, bad people begin to notice him and realize that he is the face on the poster. He tries to run and someone pulls him into a nearby house. At first, this person also wants to kill them, but then they realize that this character is from the other reverse world. It turns out that the main character's other self is a terrible villain and has grown to too much power. But the main character has the ability to stop him. This mysterious character gives the main character a sword and offers to train them, because if they don't defeat their villain self, he may one day gain too much power and destroy both worlds in the process. My third isekai story idea is that the main character dies in a sudden accident and suddenly finds themselves reborn in another world. To their surprise, this is the world of their favourite book. However, instead of being the hero that they love and admire, they have been reborn as the hated villain. As they go about the town, people rush after the villain, throwing tomatoes or saying generally abusive things. However, as well as these people, there are also people that follow the villain and admire the villain. The main character takes refuge in an abandoned house and comes to realize that they must choose who they should be. They must now decide if they want to remain the hated villain in this story or if they should try and fix their villainous ways and turn themselves into a hero. The main character now tries both paths and tries to decide which route is best for them. My fourth story idea is that a character from an isekai world is tired of her life and wishes that she could have a normal and peaceful life. In the human world, the main character makes a wish that they could have a fun and exciting life in a fantasy world. Both characters are startled to discover one day when they wake up that they have switched places. The main character is now in the body of the isekai character, and the isekai character is in the body of the human. Now they must take on each other's roles in their reverse lives while trying to figure out how to make things still look normal. My fifth story idea is that the main character wakes up in another world and is shocked to discover the place they are in. Not only that, but a fairy comes to tell them that they have been sent to this world to act as the teacher of a class of supernatural students. There are many teachers in this school, but the main character is the only human teacher. The main character is required to teach the supernatural characters about the human world. Over the course of the story, the main character realizes that the supernatural characters are not so scary after all, and they enjoy their role of being a teacher. My sixth story idea is that the main character is startled when the characters in their favorite game begin talking to them. The next thing they know, the main character is pulled into the world of the game. However, instead of being the main character is a simple side character. This gets frustrating because after the main character has to watch the real hero try to succeed but fail time and again, while they can only watch on the sidelines. Determined to make a difference in this game world, the main character realizes that they need to become the hero of their story and decide to train to take down the main villain before the hero does. My seventh story idea is that after a sudden accident, the main character is reborn as a cat, but still in the human world. At first, they are very frustrated since no one can understand them. However, as the main character spends time being a cat, they learn that among the cats, there is a battle going on and the main character was chosen to help them in this battle. With dangerous cat groups rising to power and the main villain also gaining power, it's only a matter of time before all the cats take control. The main character needs to help them keep the delicate balance between cats and humans. My eighth story idea is that the main character is a famous dancer in the 19th century. During a show, they are sabotaged and killed in a tragic accident. They wake up in a futuristic world, but later realize that this is an entirely different world from the one she knew. As she tries to learn more about this strange world, she learns that someone was sent from here to kill her in the past. Yet she does not know why they would do such a thing. Determined to return home, she tries to help the people of this world, all the while still knowing that the one who had killed her is somewhere here too. My ninth story idea is that the main character is a normal high school student, going about their daily life. However, as time goes on, things in the real world start to seem very strange. People seem to be targeting the main character, and the main character can't figure out why. The animals are acting strangely, and people are acting strange in general. The main character begins to think that they must be going crazy. Their best friend approaches them one day and finally decides to tell them the truth. The main character is from another world, and their friend was sent to be their guardian. The main character is a king/queen of the other world, and a very powerful one. They were sent to the human world in order to be protected from their uncle. Their uncle wanted the throne and had tried to kill the main character, but make it look like an accident. Their friend explains that now their uncle has become too powerful, and he must be stopped. Now that the main character is old enough, he must return to the throne and stop the overall defeat of the kingdom before it is too late. My 10th story idea is that in this story, alongside the human world, there is also the hidden world of supernatural creatures. The main character suddenly finds themselves at a school for these creatures, with no way of being able to return to the mortal world. The scary part is, they are the only human there. However, this isn't a pleasant fantasy school. The main character soon discovers that the creatures in this school are very dangerous, and a big part of the curriculum is training to hunt down humans. Their ultimate goal is to be the only creatures left so they can have the supernatural world and the mortal world all to themselves. The main character is forced to pretend to be a fantasy character and train, all the while trying to sabotage their attempts at destroying the human race. One of the supernatural creatures discovers them, but decides to help them. There needs to be a balance between the worlds, and this character can see that. They work together to try and survive at this school, an example of the true peace there needs to be between the human and the supernatural. My 11th story idea is that in this story, there are gaps in the world. These tiny gaps can appear at any time and in any place. The main character accidentally stumbles into one of these gaps and falls into a strange and dark, empty place. They walk through this dark world and come across a small civilization of humans living there who have formed a barrier to protect themselves, known as halves. They are called halves because there are people who are half in this world and half in the other world. Less than 1% of people in the entire world manage to stumble into the barrier, but once they do, it's hard to escape. However, the main character comes to realize that someone is sealing them in there for a reason. And the more they explore the dark world, the more they come to realize that things are not quite what they seem. My 12th story idea is that the main character is a model, and they are extremely egotistical. They think they are the most beautiful person in the world, and everyone who sees them agrees without even knowing the true nasty and rude person on the inside. One day the main character wakes up in a fantasy world and discovers that they have been reborn as a terrifying and hideous monster, and now everyone who sees them runs away in fear. When the main character looks into a reflective surface, they look normal, but on the outside they look like this monster. Now everyone who sees them runs away in fear. They soon learn that they were chosen by a witch to rethink their egotistical ways and learn to be kinder. Until they become kinder and truly learn to care for others, they will forever be in this form. As time goes on, the main character comes to meet others who accept him for who he is. Not for what he looks like on the outside, but the personality he is learning to develop on the inside. My 13th story idea is that, without thinking of it, the main character in this world said something offensive to a magical creature from another world. This is such a crime in the other world that the main character is kidnapped and taken there and locked in the fantasy prison. While the main character is there, he creates a plan to escape with the help of the other characters there. When he gets out, however, he is shocked to discover that the place he is in is a place he does not recognize. With no certain way to get back home, he tries to blend into this new world as much as possible. However, before he can get settled into life in this place, he is captured by the villain. He tries to make himself useful to the villain, and the villain takes on the main character as an apprentice. The main character is now training to become the apprentice to the villain, all the while trying to avoid villainous acts where they can. My 14th story idea is that the main character is a powerful wizard in another world, but when they are suddenly defeated in battle, they awaken as a high school student. Now, instead of surviving the magic world, they now have to learn how to survive high school with the limited social skills they have. Not only that, but the person who defeated them also goes to this same school. Determined to succeed in another kind of battle, the main character plans to be more popular than the other character is in order to win this challenge. My 15th story idea is that the main character is reborn in an RPG-style world as an NPC character. Forced to not move out of a certain range and having to say the same lines all the time, they quickly become very bored. They discover one day that the only way to get out of this state is to go on a quest with the hero. When another hero arrives in the real world, the NPC gives them a quest they made up and goes with the hero on the journey. However, to the NPC's surprise, the quest they made up is something far more real than they imagined. And suddenly, they are thrown into a journey that will take them through the trials and errors of this isekai. My 16th isekai story idea is that just when things seem to be going well, the main character falls through the barrier into a fantasy world. The main character is now reborn as a baby. As the baby main character grows up, their parents are murdered and the main character is now heir to the throne. They train to become a good leader and work hard to look after the kingdom. However, as they get older, they begin to have memories of the previous world. As time goes on, they come to realize that the real world and the fantasy world aren't so far apart after all. Parts of the real world and fantasy world are merging together, and the main character is the only one who remembers what the real world looked like. With this knowledge, the main character hopes to restore things to normal and find out what is causing this in the first place. My 17th isekai story idea is that this is a story with slice of life, comedy, and horror attributes. The main character is reborn as a horror protagonist who everyone is afraid of. They realize that if they don't want anyone to be afraid of them anymore, they need to try and become less scary. Or they can embrace their horror side and create a horror story that everyone is afraid of. It's up to this horror protagonist how they want to tell their horror story. My A-type story idea is that in a mishap with a school scientific experiment, the main character shrinks to smaller than ant size and realizes that there's a whole other tiny world amongst the real world. A world that can't even be seen by the human eye. Since the main character was once a full-size human, he is respected and admired by the tiny people in the world they call Enkanda. However, while some people respect the giant humans, others fear them. For there are some humans who wish to hunt them down and capture them. The main character decides to protect this small colony of tiny people and become the hero they need. My 19th Isekai story idea is that the main character is a character born through the powers of a magical being. In this world, a dangerous elf known as Lord Tobias has taken all 8 magic crystals and is using them to grant power to him and make himself become much more powerful. He has become so powerful that the world is slowly being destroyed and no one has a chance of stopping him. Each crystal is a different color and correlates with a different power. The main character was created by a witch in order to hopefully stop him. The only way to stop the Lord Tobias is to go back in time and collect each magic crystal from each time in this fantasy world while not directly interfering in the times and changing times for good. My 20th story idea is that the main character is summoned to be a messenger between the isekai world and the real world. They are granted the abilities of being able to travel easy between barriers and give messages that need to be given. Overall, they end up becoming a messenger between the two worlds and help to communicate things that may not be communicated otherwise. And idea number 21 is that after the real world begins to be overcome by a deadly disease, the main character and a group of others are summoned to an isekai world. They soon discover that the disease is caused by creatures who are flooding the isekai world in large numbers, and the main character is chosen with the others to be a hero and defeat these creatures. Thank you so much for watching my video today, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know what idea in this video was your favourite because I would love to hear about it. Feel free to chat with me on any of my social media at MidnightXcross because I always enjoy hearing from you. Again, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye!